guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, especially for this particular video. This is part 2 of my expectations versus reality of living in Naples, Italy. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch part 1. If there's something that's not mentioned in this video, there's a huge chance that it might have been mentioned in the first one, where I talk about driving, a little bit of weather, as well as food culture and I guess the personality of Naples here. In this video, I'm gonna just cover some of the parts that got cut out. My mic did die on the first video, so a lot got cut out. So I'm gonna try to recap those parts in this video. And if there's something that isn't mentioned in either one, please feel free to leave a comment or any questions that you have about my experience or what it's like living in Naples, Italy, down in the comment section below. And of course, stay tuned for more content. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, so in this video, let's first start by talking about, I guess, the quality of living. If you haven't already, check out my Italian home tour or apartment tour. So there's a lot of, or quite a few different styles of homes that you can get here. You can do, I guess, more of like a standardized home that's an individual property. You have like your garage, maybe a pool. Those are on the pricier side, but for everything that you get and you're renting, you still pay a lot less than what you would in the States. Okay, so for example, prior to moving here to Naples, Italy, I was actually planning to move to Dallas, Texas from Cincinnati, Ohio. So just giving those locations so you can get an idea of like the price points. I had reserved a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. And for that, I would have been paying $1,500 US a month. Here, again, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I'm paying 1,500 euros. So that converts, once the conversion rate applies and the transfer fee, because I use TransferWise to send my rental payments every month, it comes out to $1,660. So I'm paying about $160 more here than what I would have paid in the States, but I'm getting an extra bathroom, an extra bedroom, a separate kitchen and living room, versus the apartment in Dallas was a lot more compact. So a lot more space for a lot less money. And to be completely honest with you, I am paying more than I should be here. And the reason why is I'm, international. I'm American, so I'm paying American prices. Because to get this same thing in the States, I definitely would be paying more. I probably would be paying closer to maybe $2,000 for this same exact setup. In addition to that, I do have security, not manned security, but as far as I do feel pretty safe. My landlords live downstairs from me, but outside of that, my apartment is gated. You cannot get in or out without a buzzer or a key. There's 3 doors you have to go through just to get to my place. So yeah, a lot more security and that's just a given than what you would get in the States. And usually for extra security and things like that, you do pay for it. So there's that as far as cost of living. In addition to that, when you go grocery shopping here, especially locally, you pay a lot less than what you would in the States. And the food is a lot better quality in my opinion. It's a lot fresher. For example, if I go and buy groceries today at a local grocery store, that food, I should probably be cooking it within the next 2 to 3 days, because there's not any extra preservatives and things like that to, extend its shelf life. They don't really allow you to do that here. So I do appreciate that. Things I've noticed in the quality of the food improving have been better skincare. I don't break out like I would in the States. For example, if I were to eat pizza and if I were to go out and do fast food even, or one big thing for me was eating beef and pork, I would normally break out. So these are things that would normally make me break out by eating them in the States. Here, I don't really get that. Now, of course, if I go to McDonald's every day, then my skin will react to that because it's still fast food. But in the States, it would definitely be same day, same or next day that I would end up getting a breakout or a rash or something of that nature because of the food quality difference. So the cost of living rolls into kind of quality of life as well. So for example, in my last role, I was actually in a travel role. So some of the things I would do to kind of pamper myself or just kind of feel sane and normal because I wouldn't get to go home often would be having like my massage community membership, which was like $60 a month. And so I'd have to find a location or be traveling to a place that has a location. I'm not getting the consistent treatment because it's one masseuse versus another, one location versus another, and so many other things. Or if I find like a local spa, you're paying about $60 to $100 for a massage. Here, my masseuse comes to me and I do pay the same price, but in my opinion, it's a much better experience. She's licensed, she's professional, she brings the spa experience to me, and I do enjoy that a lot. Okay, and another thing about, I guess, like quality of life or cost efficiency when it comes to like beauty and maintenance and things like that are my nails and pedicures and things like that. I do pay a lot less than what I would in the States. For example, a full set is probably gonna run you at minimum like $80, or at least for what I was getting. I do know that for like my fill-ins and the gel polish on top, I was typically coming out of the salon paying $60 for that alone. Not even to mention the pedicure, that's a whole nother story. But here they do something called acrogel. I think acrylic is available as well, but I've switched to getting the acrogel, which is similar to like polygel if anyone's ever had that. Or I think it's a similar process, or it might be the same thing as a Russian manicure. In my opinion, they last a lot longer than the acrylic nails I would get in the United States. They typically like feel cleaner and fresher to me because typically when I go, they're removing the entire thing and starting over. And I'm only paying like 25 to 30 euros for that. I know typically if I'm going to get like nails and feet done, I end up paying maybe $60 tops, 60 euros tops, which if you convert that is like $65 to $70. When if you were to just get your nails done in the States, that would be that right there. So I do like that. They last a lot longer. If you're ever like on this side of the world or have the opportunity to try it out, I highly recommend it. But I do like that aspect that I don't have to pay an arm and a leg for beauty, which I know is like not necessarily a mandatory expense for everyone, but for someone that wants to like keep up, and it also helps me feel better, especially when it comes to adjusting to living in a place that is foreign to me. It is nice to have. Another thing when it comes to the expectation versus reality, y'all, I hate to say it like this, but Naples is dirty. I'll admit they've improved a lot since I've lived here. The roads when I first got here were really bad, covered in potholes. There are still some areas that are like covered in potholes, are potentially going to be worked on. I don't know, but I do know for a good portion of the time that I've been here, the roads were really bad. And then when I say dirty, I legitimately mean that it is a dusty place. So let's start there. I know when I lived in Florida, I'd always joke and say, I'm not paying for a car wash because it rains so much, I get a free car wash. That does not apply here. It does rain a lot, but your car will be dirty after the rain. It's like it's dumping dirt on your car. And it might just because of the smog, the air quality is not the best here. I think that's a big part of the reason why I found myself getting sick a lot more often since living here than I would in the States. Hence the reason I sound so congested right now. So I apologize about that in advance. But I do know that like there will be times when I first got here, I haven't seen it as much just to cut them some slack, but when I first got here, I'd be driving down the highway and you'd see like people had dumped their trash on the side of the highway. And when I say dump their trash, I don't mean like, oh, they threw a wrapper out of their window or a bottle or something, because that also happens here too. But dump their trashes in like full-blown kitchen trash bags are sitting on the side of the highway, and like it's multiple of them. So I found that really shocking and really disgusting when I first moved here. But I'm seeing a lot less of that, so I don't know if they're taking initiative to clean the city or what have you, but that's a thing. Downtown Naples is super dirty, so just a warning to anyone that is traveling through here. Granted, some areas are not as bad. They keep those touristy areas a bit cleaner. But if you do find yourself in downtown Naples, whether it's because you came down from Rome or you're coming through here to go to like the Amalfi Coast or Capri or Ischia or something like that, do keep in mind that downtown Naples can be a bit sketchy and dirty, and come off as scary. So just be mindful of that if you do ever travel here. I personally do not go downtown unless I have absolutely no other choice, but I try to avoid it at all costs. That's pretty much it about the dirtiness. I guess to try to combat that and bring it back to a positive side, let's see. The travel opportunities. I do love the travel opportunities here. I love the fact that I can just hop on a train and like travel all throughout Italy, Europe for that matter. It's really cost effective, really reasonable to travel here, and you can see so much and not have to stress about getting there because the train system is here. Or even you can fly to another country and you're not paying nearly as much as you would if you had traveled across the US. So like, if I remember correctly, on average it would cost about $300, maybe round trip, to go coast to coast in the US. And I could be wrong, the price may have like increased. But yeah, that prior to moving here, it was maybe about $300 round trip to go coast to coast in the US, versus here, I can do a round trip ticket as little as like $60 to most places within Europe. Heck, even like Northern Africa, if I wanted to, it's pretty cost effective. And the Naples airport is not even a hub, and I still pay very little for direct flights that are round trip to other countries. Like, that is insane to me. And then the convenience of it all is, once you're in the EU, if you travel to another country within the EU, you don't have to go through customs. So if I go from here to Germany, it's literally just pack my bag, get on a flight, go, and then I can exit the airport and go live my best life. I don't have to go through customs and explain my whereabouts and things like that. Of course, if I go to like London, that's a bit different. It's no longer a part of the EU, so there's that. But even flights to there are nothing compared to what you would pay in the States. As a matter of fact, I have a trip coming up to London, and I feel like it was kind of a last minute purchase maybe, and round trip was $111. I think if I had purchased it earlier, I probably would have paid half of that, but $111 is not bad for a round trip ticket to another country, in my opinion. And what else about Naples was a shocker? Oh, sorry to take it back negative, but the wildfires. And I'll insert footage if I can find it. Oh my goodness, the wildfires are insane. There was one, actually I think there were two that happened on the same day last year in two different parts of the city that were both so bad. I did end up driving through one, and when I say drive through, like literally there were flames coming across the highway. I think I have footage of that, so I'll insert it on the side somewhere. Me trying to get away. That was wild.
God, this is scary.
And then,
oh my God, I don't even.
Another one happened, and that one shut down that particular area's highway. Like, and I remember driving through that area, and it was just like black, like just it burned down everything, as far as like the foliage and everything that was on the side of the highway there. So that was like crazy. And that happens so often. Maybe not that severe, but definitely there are plenty of times we're just driving down the highway in the summer. I'd say I noticed it from like July, maybe August-ish, all the way through maybe October. And the reason why is because of the type of grass that they have here. At least that's what was explained to me. It catches fire pretty easily. It does get pretty hot here in the summer, and dry. And in addition to that, I think the reason why some of the fires get as bad as they do, it kind of goes back to the trash on the side of the highway. I think some of those things are flammable. You oftentimes see people throw cigarettes out the window. My theory is that those cigarettes probably catch fire in that grass, and that grass probably ignites something within that trash that was thrown on the side of the highway, and it turns into something bigger. That's my theory on it, but you do tend to see a lot of wildfires. It's crazy. Sometimes you just smell that ash in the air. Another cause of that is there are a lot of farms outside of like downtown and like the outer neighborhoods and cities of like central Naples. There are a lot of farms and they do burn their trash. So sometimes I think those kind of get out of hand or they lose control of them. I always wonder like, are these farmers concerned about their crops or whatever? But to be honest with you, the same areas that I've seen burn down this past summer, I'm already seeing a lot of like grass and greenery come back, and we haven't even had a lot of rain this winter. So I guess they're used to it. I guess that's just the way of life here. Don't mind it, I don't know. So tomorrow means tomorrow, but whatever. They don't care, I don't care. But yeah, it's just crazy to witness, especially when you're just casually driving and then you're like, I smell ash, and then you just see clouds of black smoke in front of you or in the highway, and it's like, oh, that's wild. Yeah, so that was probably the biggest shock to me, because I've never experienced the wildfire in my life anywhere. So coming here, it was pretty different. And then I guess the last thing I'll leave it off on, I kind of touched on a little bit in the past video, which is like attitude of the place, but I'm more specifically going to talk about like making friends and connections here. In my opinion, it's a bit challenging, mostly because of like the language barrier, but also what I'm noticing, like this culture isn't typically the type to just pop up and say, hey, let's be friends. And I don't know if that really is any place or any culture to, you know, give them credit, but it is a bit of a challenge. However, for anyone moving internationally, whether it's here or somewhere else, definitely do your best to learn a little bit of the language. Maybe a few greetings takes you a long way. Definitely look for like online groups and things like that to mingle with people. I recently went to an event called Anatima. I'll insert footage of that. It was so fun. I went last year. Pride or maybe like LGBT club event. I don't know. I think the location changes each time, and I don't know how often they do it, but I just know I went this time last year and I went this year. Had a great time. And it was really fun just mingling with people, partying and dancing with people. So I highly recommend, like, if that's your thing, go out and do it, or look for groups online that are safe to greet and meet people. The few connections I do have with the locals, like, are amazing. I'm definitely gonna cherish those and stay in contact with the friends that I've made here. The people of Italy are so genuine and so loving and so welcoming. A little bit rough around the edges at times, and sometimes it does take a few times of people seeing you or being around you or whatever just to get to know you, but I still love the fact that I can walk down the street and be like told hi beautiful or whatever, or just Bella. And it's so funny because when I first got here, I didn't know ciao Bella meant hello beautiful or goodbye beautiful. So I'd like do a transaction at a store or be out and about, and like a guy or someone will be like, oh, ciao Bella, or women will say it and I'll say it back. But it would always be so funny because the men would just crack up laughing when I say it back to them. And I'm like, is it my pronunciation? And someone was like, no, they said you're beautiful. So it's just kind of funny that you're calling him beautiful back and they know you don't know what they're saying. So it's little funny stories and stuff like that are what like kind of embeds this place in my heart a bit. But with all of the culture shocks and unexpected things that are happening here or have happened here, it's definitely starting to feel a little bit like home. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to live in Japan one day, but for now, this is home. So that's it for part 2. I'm pretty sure there are things that like I didn't touch on that you guys might be curious about. So again, please engage. Please leave comments down below on things you want me to speak about, experiences you want me to talk about. I do have a few shorts of like just my day-to-day living. So if you want to see what like grocery shopping here is like, I do have a short about that. If you want to see like little excursions I've done, like wine harvesting and tasting and things like that, I have that as well in my Living in Italy playlist. So check that out. But until next time, y'all.
Turn me up.